Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Westby, Ken Manning, Western Wisconsin Video Productions, as we are set to bring you some youth wrestling action today. It is the WWF Youth Regional District 6. We look forward to a kind of a crazy day here. It looks like a, a bit of mass confusion. Maybe it is, but I can tell you this, that Holly running the tournament here from Westby, and she does a fantastic job. We're going to have two different sessions this morning. The younger group from now until about, maybe roughly around 11:30, maybe quarter to 12, somewhere in there is the hopes for that to be completed. And then the older crew, I think, and they go by the years that they were born, and I tell you what, I am just completely lost with that anymore. I guess I'm too old school looking at way back when it was grade levels, you know, like first and second, third and fourth, that kind of thing. But that's eons ago. Now is the year you're born, and we are off and running here in today's tournament action. Well, over on our lower left corner, we're going to be showing, it looks like, I'm thinking that this one is about 100. It should be a young man from Boscobel, Riker Kathman, is coming out onto the mat, and he's going to be wrestling a youngster from Marshfield, Grayson Shearer. You know, we have wrestlers coming from all over here, and we're going to be watching in this. You just saw just to the left of about 100, we just saw a little throw going on, and that was a DC Everest wrestler against a Rio, I guess you would say. So that's quite the deal. Where we're at up here in the stands, and we're going to see fans coming in like crazy. They continue to come in. I got here literally at about 7:10, and folks were walking in then. That is just nuts, right? So we're going to keep an eye out on that. We do have a couple of wrestlers, and this is in the upper right corner of the screen. If we can get the gentleman to sit down, once they get situated there, you're going to be able to see. Hopefully it'll kind of refocus in on the wrestlers over there. We're at a distance. I'm waiting for Carl Zuby to come in today. He's going to be over here to help out. Appreciate his support with today's broadcast. So he'll be running that camera in the upper left once he gets here. But we got a couple of wrestlers out there from the Ithaca area. And on mat 500, which is the one that you're seeing now, you're getting some back points counted there from the distance. And again, I apologize. That camera is just out of my reach for right now. But that is West Salem Bangor, Craig Schaller taking on Tanner Sweeney. Sweeney from Ithaca Weston. And right now it's a 7-0 score in favor of West Salem Bangor and Schaller. And then just to the left of him, well, it's Brexley Heise Polinsky from North Crawford, Seneca, taking on Finley Fowle from Ithaca. So there's a couple of local wrestlers. That's way in the upper left corner, again from that distance. And trying to look to see who is out in front here on that one. It looks like Polinsky has that 4-0 lead. Meanwhile, we go back to mat number 1, about 100. And there is still no score in that match. Wow, how about that? So Kathman from Boscobel and Shearer from Marshfield, still no score in that one. We also have, let's see here, can we get to that one? In the upper right corner, we have a young man from Riverdale. That is about 300. And that is from Toma, Hunter Gobelska, taking on Brixton Hiltbrandt. Hiltbrandt is out in front 8-0, but right now he's fighting off his back here, trying to get back to his base as Gobelska came up with a pinning combination after trailing here 8-0. He's going to pick up some points here. Hiltbrandt's going to be able to rotate all the way back around, get off his back, and pick up maybe the 2 for the reversal. Oh, not quite yet. And Kabelska is coming right back in on the attack. Oh, I think they have the score turned around there. They do. It's 11. Now it says 11-0. And they got Hiltbrandt with the lead, but I think that's not quite right. Hiltbrandt is actually in the red. They haven't switched that on track wrestling. So Kabelska is out in front here, 13-0 here, looking for a potential tech fall, and he will be in the down position to begin period number 3. So if he'll happen to get the reversal, that would end that particular match. And on mat 400, just to the left of the Riverdale, we have a Richland Center wrestler and Austin Ewing. And let's see, he is right behind that scoreboard. Of all things, it's hard to see. Let's see if I can move that camera a little bit. Oh, there they are. Just out of bounds, near the out of bounds area. They'll come back to their center of the mat. That's a 2-0 lead here. And it's going to be Ewing of Richland Center with that 2-0 lead. Well, Carl's here, so it's a matter of maneuvering. He's going to go all the way around and work his way through the crowd. What a great crowd today, too, while we, get a chance to talk about that. It's remarkable, the kind of backing. Not that surprising, when it comes to the youth wrestling tournament. And the success that many of these kids are going to have to get to the state tournament. Pretty wild when you stop and think about it. In the lower right corner of our screen, all of the regular sponsors bringing you today's action here. I appreciate that so much, all that they've been able to do, and opportunity to get something going here today. Take a look here. Ewing is now out in front 4-0. That's in the upper right once again. Kabelska, I believe, picked up, well, I think he had the tech fall, but I kind of lost track of him. So I apologize for that, but it's going to be a busy day here. Let's take a look here. Back on bout number 100. That's there's still no score, and I don't know if they've got a problem going on with the. Oh, I think that's what it is. I think they got a problem with the score table and that. Ewing is going to pick up that win 4-0 to move on in his quest for a state spot. So good for him. Well, joining me, Carl Zuby. And Carl, welcome aboard.
Yeah, how's it going?
I tell you what, it's controlled chaos. I just was telling people that.
Well, I haven't physically witnessed one of these in about 3 years.
Yes.
Everything was on time for me to be here by 8:30.
Yep.
But then ended up having to park in Cashton.
Well, there you go.
It was a hike.
That'll do it. That'll do it all the time. If you get to within by 8:30, if you get to within 5-6 blocks, you're doing well.
Yeah.
Here's what another interesting note I hadn't had a chance to talk to the folks about here, kind of information-wise on things, but I have to tell you that there's probably in today's tournament, counting both sessions, there was somewhere around 520 wrestlers that are in the tournament. It ranged anywhere from 519 to 527. So I'm just saying somewhere around 520, give or take a couple, right? Because you know there's always going to be some that something happens and you know you just aren't able to keep everybody. Maybe they get sick, who knows what. Well, you know what, Carl? We've got a young wrestler from Viroqua out here on mat number about 200, which is over here to our right side. And this is a young man, it's Braden Strand, and he is leading, it looks like, 4-0 over Sawyer Prudlick from Blair Taylor. And now it's 6-0 with a reversal. So he's doing a nice little job here so far.
Yeah.
Nice lift there and brought this man back down to the mat under control. So we're just kind of, I've got 3 mats, 3 cameras going. The lower right corner is going to be our rolling script of the commercials of all of our fine sponsors. And we're just going to do the best we can to get as many of our area wrestlers from, of course, the 3 schools that we follow the most in Cashton, Westby, and Viroqua, but also Richland Center, DeSoto, North Crawford, Seneca, and Kickapoo Lafarge, if they have anybody here. And we might have to, if you need to bring your camera in just a little bit, as far as zooming in, feel free to do that as you need, Carl.
Well, I just noticed there on mat 6, we've got DeSoto wrestler there.
Oh, there you go, okay. And up on the top of the camera will be your little rocker if you want to zoom in just a touch. So I'm on 6, let's take a look here. I'll run track wrestling over to that. That is Liam Audetta. Well, now there's a familiar name, Audetta, from Ferryville, and he is taking on Caden Humble from Toma. And right now, that's a 2-2 match. That's going to be a dandy one there, you can just tell. So keeping track of who wins and who loses, honestly, probably not going to happen all the time. It's just It's just going to be, we're going to let you in on who's wrestling, and you know, if you can pick up on it and cheer on your young wrestler, that'll be great. And we wish the best to all of them here today in this tournament action. But again, it should be a lot of fun here. We look forward to this, and we're just going to keep things rolling as much as possible. But a number of wrestlers overall, 500 plus, 520 some. And, you know, our officials out here, I don't even know all of our officials today, Carl.
Well, Scotty Brickman's here.
Yep. Lynn's here.
Lynn's here. Now, there's 2 guys that were at the WIAA state tournament right there.
That's right. I tell you what, that's pretty cool.
And I'm sure, I know Riley Cade's here.
Yep, I saw Riley. Wayne's right down in front of us.
Yeah, you can't miss him.
Yep.
I wonder if Brad Rosh is here.
You know, I was looking. I have not seen Brad, and I wonder if he isn't working by chance. You know, that could be might be the thing going on there.
And he's probably taken enough Saturdays off over the last couple months. Probably got to work a couple now.
Most likely. Or he had the night shift and maybe he needs to get a little shut-eye, which can't blame him there either. So Ned Loffrey also right here in front of us. He's right on this about 300. That's in the upper right corner of the screen. He is down on his one knee. Kevin Erlinson is here as an official. So, yeah, a number of them that I guess I do know, and there's a handful of them that they're familiar to me, but right now the name escapes me. That could be an age thing too, I don't know.
Mat 5, we've got Cash, and I'll zoom out just a little bit and maybe pan the camera over.
That's a 6-2 score now. Audetta finds himself trailing on mat 6. Well, on mat 5, that is Edson Milsna taking on Isaac Elder. Elder is unattached, and as you mentioned, Milsna from Cashton. There's a familiar name, right?
Yes.
That's a mainstay there. thanks to Holly and all the great crew here, the Westby Wrestling Club. We got a Bulldog wrestler down here on mat 2. And that is Jackson Riley from Ithaca Weston taking on Axel Wolf from Crass Wrestling, or Crass Trained, I should say. That's in the lower left corner of your screen. No score there just yet. So I'll try and keep the camera on that one for you, and you can watch that as much as possible. I'll actually zoom in just a little bit more here so you can get hopefully a little better view of that one. On bout 101, you got a Holman wrestler taking on a New Lisbon wrestler. So New Lisbon, kind of one of our area folks. And boy, you got, is that Milsna picking up the points over there? Boy, they're going at it. Now a quick reversal too.
I think that's Riverdale.
Oh, is that Riverdale over there? Okay. Yeah, that looks like their youth singlet. You know, I think it's probably been, you're talking about, it's probably been 3 or 4 years since you've been here. That's probably been my my account as well. Because I remember the last time that you and I talked when we were here, I think we were over in the far corner and they had the mats going like at a T.
Yep.
And we were over in the corner, and I think I got stuck reffing for about a half an hour. It was kind of fun to be back on the mat, but boy, I tell you what, with my knees, I paid for it the next day. But I remember we were talking and we were getting ready. I was gonna, I had the camera with me. We were gonna follow, well, Maddie was wrestling, if I remember right. So in the youth side of things.
Yeah, we had a few kids I think that year.
Yeah.
We've got mat 7 is Westby.
Oh, yeah.
Matthew Hum of Westby and Sean Ball of Melrose Mindoro. Hum trailing by a score of 8-4. Looks, we're in the third period, about 45 seconds left.
And that is, you can just get to them. He is in the upper left, and I mean way upper left corner. Carl's moving the camera, so you got all 3 of those mats going on. You can watch all 3 of them, with, of course, Milsna and the closest one just out of the picture there. Well, let's see, on that mat 200, mat 2, it was a 5-0 win for Wolf of Crass Trained over Riley of Ithaca Weston. Again, you see the scrolling script of all of our fine sponsors here. We appreciate all that they've been able to do to help us out throughout the year. Been fortunate enough here, Carl, we've had with like, you know, your help and Dave Gluck, Dan Grass, Tom Ward, just a number of folks that have been able, so kind to help. We have Scott Peterson, Nick Butzler over at the Cashin area. We have been able to put on, for Western Wisconsin Video Productions, well over 200 events throughout the year, just on the regular basis. And my sincere thanks to folks like you, guys like you that have been, you know, like, hey, yeah, we'll help you out a little bit. And it's just, it's fantastic that way. So thanks for all that help. Not to mention the specials with wrestling. We had, I'm trying to think how many, I wish I could keep track of how many hours we had with the state tournament trail and the conference tournament and stuff like that, but kind of a wild February, isn't it?
It's a lot of wrestling. Well, and I kind of, you know, was at state. There I come up and talked to you once, but that was, I didn't really get a chance to come up and say anything stupid or anything.
What's up with that?
I don't know.
Well, you were a little busy. Maddie she was busy wrestling, so, and you got another year of that, so, you know, just hang in there. Well, in front of us, in the upper right corner of the screen, we have on our mat 300 range, we have another Riverdale wrestler, Finnegan Zarbach, and he is taking on Owen Atbury from Marshfield, and we're going to get a takedown or a reversal. Might have been a reversal, and now Atbury is leading 2-0 over Zarbach from Riverdale, and they're right behind the scoreboard there, our pyramid scoreboard, as they go out of bounds. Ned Loffrey will bring them back to the center of their mat and get a fresh start.
We've got, mat 4 is not being covered right now, but there's Kickapoo Lafarge wrestler Trenton Townsend wrestling Archer. We're going to call him Archer from Mauston. That's definitely a
Kahutko.
Kahutko,
I think. That's what we'll go with. How's that?
Well, he's going to pick up the win by pin. Let's see, 140 pin.
Wow, yeah.
The gentleman from Mauston was asking the ref some questions, it looked like.
Well, sometimes, you know, the youth, they forget that it's not just the top of the shoulders, it's that whole scapula area. So even though you might feel like your shoulder is up, but that scapula could be flattened out on the mat. So that makes it a little more difficult and sometimes hard to grasp. But thanks again to those all these different clubs. We have wrestlers from as far away as DC, Everest, Marshfield area. And of course, not only just right here in our local area, but Holman, the Law Group, they bring down a ton of people. West Salem Bangor brought 34 wrestlers over today, Carl.
Wow.
Isn't that something? But a lot of camaraderie. I saw a coach from Wisconsin Dells here. Got a chance just to say hi in passing as we were both trying to get to our designated spots a little while ago. I say a little, that's probably 45 minutes ago now. Looking on our mat 300, it's a little change here now. We got a 6-6 score. And there's a reversal by Riverdale. And wow, a come from behind win here for Zarbach. A Riverdale Chieftain moving forward there with a big win. 8-6 is your final. That was quite a wrestling match.
Yeah.
Melrose Mindoro, GET, they're two clubs. Of course, they come in as the Mustangs and as GET. I'm trying to think, what is their, what's theirs again now?
The Red Hawks.
Red Hawks, yes, yes. Well, we got a young Westby wrestler coming out on the mat on the mat 100 area. This is going to be Lane Burke of Westby, and he is going to have, oh, here's another one from a ways away, Watoma, the Super Stingers. How about that? Now there's a club name, Super Stingers. Logan Chikantic coming out onto the mat here, and Lane Burke, he's going after a takedown right away. He's going to wind up giving up the takedown. He got a little bit high, and now our Watoma wrestler is in pretty good position. He's got a body lock on there. And it's going to be 3 near fall, 2 takedown, 3 near fall, and then it became an illegal headlock. The young man from Watoma did not have the arm included on there, so we'll get a fresh start. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Chikantic out in front, 5-zip right now, 5-1 after that penalty point being assessed. Looks like now we must have the girls' side of things is way up on mat 8 at 800 range, and I have no clue where we're at on that one. Let me run up, zip up to that one. We have a New Lisbon wrestler and Team Nazar. That's New Lisbon is Gracie O'Brien. And Riley Henrahan. Well, some of these brackets, 16 full, some with only a couple or 3 wrestlers in it. And by the way, the top 3 go on to the state tournament. So that's a change from, just probably that 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, it used to be just top 2.
Just top 2, right? You'd have that complete wrestle back. I believe they still have that complete wrestle back.
I wonder if they didn't get rid of one of the qualifiers.
They might have. But
I want to say there's 8.
You're right, there is, yes.
So they're all over. They try to do a pretty good representation of the state.
Yep.
I mean, this one, though, this one seems like it's the popular one, the big one.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, yeah.
Well, for years, coming up through my youth experience, this tournament was held at Richland Center.
Correct. Yep.
And that was the one to go to.
Yeah.
If you made it out of Richland Center, you were good. And there were people that I remember vividly from this area that would go other places.
Yeah.
Like, I think Prairie might have had one as well.
Maybe, yeah.
But they would go away.
Yeah.
Just to try and get away from some of the competition. But
Holman used to have one years ago. So, yeah, that's it's crazy that way. And I remember talking with some of the folks that would come down. They were constant, consistent, however you want to say it, from like the DC Everest area and in Neilsville and that. And they they said, this is they literally told me before I started doing any of this kind of stuff, and I was still kind of helping out and that with the wrestling club. And they said, this is the toughest tournament, but they came down because they figured they wanted to see just where they stood. I'm like, well, that's pretty neat because a lot of people will run from this tournament, But they weren't. They were coming right after it. So it's pretty slick that way. Well, let's take a look here and see where we're at with some of our area wrestlers. A Tech Fall goes against Lane Burke. Mat 7, we have Lennon Neef from Ithaca Weston. And that young Bulldog is out in front 6-0 over the Mauston Talons, Rylan Comats, and picking up some more back points there, it looked like. And also looks like we have a Kickapoo Lafarge lady wrestler out there on mat 800. That's Maddie Townsend. We just had a Townsend out here. But Maddie Townsend is wrestling, and she has, is that Kelsey? Kelsey Sabota from Arcadia. Now there's a wrestling name. Sabota is synonymous with Arcadia wrestling. It's now 3-0 as Sabota had picked up an escape. So that again is in the upper right corner of your screen. Well, they hope to be done wrestling here somewhere in that 11:30 time frame is kind of what they're thinking. So
now these are all, I forget the years, but this would be like first grade through fourth, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
The younger group of kids.
Well, and I said at the beginning of the program when we started, I go, I'm so old school. I don't even remember the years and stuff now, because I'm just past that. I'm still looking back at the old school thing of grade level, like 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th. But now it's somebody was, what are you born in 2010 or whatever it might be? Yeah. So let's take a look at more of our wrestlers. We got another Riverdale wrestler over here in the bottom left corner of the screen on our 800. Or excuse me, on our 100. This is Landry Behrens of Riverdale taking on Tatum Harder of Law. And right now, Behrens has the takedown, actually has a 10-0 lead after that takedown. And on that same mat, but the other half, on the 200 mat, we have an Oregon and DC Everest wrestler. So not really in our area, but it's a Lucas Clement from Oregon and Grady Spetz from DC Everest. And that's a good match, 2-1. Try and keep an eye out on our young wrestler Behrens. Go ahead there.
I was going to say there's definitely a lot of passion with the coaches.
Isn't there, though? I wonder why that is. On mat, the 300 and 400 mats, we have a Reedsburg wrestler and a West Salem wrestler. Right now, it's Parker Beasley of Reedsburg out in front, doubling up 14-7 on Jackson Hoffman. And on the 400, we have a Toma and Nakusa wrestler.
Well, Maddie Townsend of Kickapoo Lafarge fell to Sabata of Arcadia down on mat 8. And that, with the conclusion of that mat, we have a Westby wrestler. The names have not refreshed on my track wrestling yet.
Okay.
But whoever she is leading 2-0 right now, just about halfway through the first period.
Oh, wow, yeah. And looks like picking up some back points over there as well.
We have Graceland Buckerney.
Now let's take a look here. Some of these names are not that familiar with me anymore.
She's going to win by fall.
Yep. Buckerney, I think, something like that. Yeah, that sounds about right. Well, we got a couple matches done here in the lower left corner of your screen.
Braden Strand again. Didn't he just wrestle?
It seemed like he just wrestled.
Well, there are no 45-minute time restraints here in youth wrestling.
I don't know if there's even a half an hour. I mean, basically, you get ready to go. But, yeah, he just actually, you know what, you're right, because this started, the tournament started at 8:30. We are at 9:06 right now on my on my phone, so he might have got a 10, 12-minute break, maybe.
He is wrestling Holden Anderson of Watoma. That's a ways off.
That is. Is that Stinger group?
Yes.
That's what I thought. Got a Viking wrestler right beside them on the right of them on the 100 mat. Holman Viking and JJ's. Jackson Fairs. Well, and on our upper right corner of the screen, Wayne Keenan just had to call a locked hands here and then explain to the young man what happened, and that is a wrestler from Cashton, Logan Schreier. He's out in front 2-1 now after he picked up the takedown but then locked his hands. He's wrestling Hunter Kabelska from Toma, who had just wrestled not that long ago either. So you're right, they're rotating them through in a hurry.
I wonder because you said there was, what 520-ish wrestlers?
Well, total. I mean, you got
total.
The 2 sessions.
Yeah, but I wonder how that splits between the 2 sessions.
I know. It's got to be 300 and some here. The younger ones usually are larger, have more kids. Yeah. But I don't know the break. That's a great question. If we could find out what that would be, that'd be good to know.
We'll look to see if there's any more familiar singlets anywhere.
Yeah,
there's Cashton down on mat 3.
Yeah, I've got him. Yep, that's Schreier. He is out in front 4-1 right now. I think Lynn Eisensee is our head official, main official here. He has been walking up and down, making sure everything is going well, making sure people know that there's any problems at the tables and such. A lot of organization goes on in these regional youth tournaments. Looks like the Viking Wrestling Club, they've got guys on the 2 mats here on our lower left screen.
I am happy to notice that there are far less mullets here than in recent years.
That's true.
It's a nice change. It should go back. It should go back to the 70s and 80s where it
there you go.
It passed away slowly.
The little buzz cut and everything. It's I know we never had mullets. My mom would have killed us. But I also know that, of course, my mom cut our hair, so guess what?
You saying you probably didn't have that much say in what your hair looked like?
Not too much, no. It was like, here comes your haircut. Like, okay. Well, our Cashton wrestler and Schreier is going to pick up the win, 4-1. So congratulations to him. He's going to move on, keep his state tournament hopes alive. You got a lot of unfamiliar wrestlers on your half over there.
Yes.
But that's what happens when they come from all over. So let's go back over here on our.
One of them was the Barry Davis Wrestling Club.
Is that right?
Never even Can't say that I've heard of that
no,
before.
It must be from the New Lisbon area, I'm going to guess.
It was a blue singlet.
Yeah, I'll bet it was then.
Barry was a coach.
Yeah, for the Badgers.
For the Badgers, but he didn't. Was he from New Lisbon or coached at New Lisbon?
No, he helped coach at New Lisbon for a number of years after he stepped away from the college ranks. Of course, you know, Brian Slater wrestled for the Badgers, and
we got Baroque wrestler on mat 5 right now with headlock locked in. It was a nice little toss. That is Weston Braun of Baroque wrestling Colton Schmidt of Cashton.
I thought that looked like a Cashton singlet.
5-point move right now.
That is on that 500 mat. On the 600 mat, just to the right of that, let's see, that is, I thought maybe that might have been somebody local, but it's a GET wrestler, Hayden Schultz, or Schutz, might be Schutz, and Jet Hemp from Crass Trained. We're going to move back down to our 100 mat, 100 and 200 mat. And let's see. Looks like Briggs Weber picked up the win, I think, there against the Westby wrestler. And they're bringing out 2 new ones. Riley Cade, the official over there. There's a couple of weight classes that were not going to start until about this time, right between that 9-10 mark. So they might have even have now been included into the tournament.
Are those like the really big and the really littles?
Yeah, this one would have been the really littles, yeah. To get them in, yep. I think 6 or less, or maybe even 8 or less. Try to work them in.
Well, we're going to end the second period scoreless. Let me rephrase that. No one scored in the second period. It's still 5-0 Braun of Viroqua. Oh, go right for that little hip toss. Oh, nice.
He's got that down pretty good.
I think he was not above the elbow though.
Okay.
So Schmitz is on the board. He's got a point because of that.
Yeah.
And I'm beginning to see a pattern. And if you tie up with a kid like that, guess what's going to happen?
Yep. Might want to decide to go down low.
Or he's just going to grab a front head like that and snap you right down.
On the mat 300 and 400, Prairie du Chien has Chance Primmer.
Oh, he's got some Viroqua ties.
Yeah, I wondered about that. He is out in front 5-0 over Liam Fremont from Neilsville. The NGL is Neilsville.
What mat is that?
That is 400 there, mat 4, yep. I kind of wondered if that didn't have a little Viroqua tie to it.
Braun will be your winner by a score of 5-1. And he'll advance on to the next stage of his bracket.
taking a look back down here on our other mats here. Nobody local from our viewing area on channel 14. And again, thanks to all those sponsors that you can see running here now in that lower corner of the screen. Next, now the state tournament down in Madison, but that's not next weekend already, is it? Isn't it usually like the last, or are we close to being the last weekend?
I want to say it's. I want to say it's next weekend.
Wow. A quick turnover or turnaround.
So I don't think there was a week in between.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, they probably need to do that.
Well, and, you know, you can't ask these kids to keep a weight.
Yeah, right. That makes total sense when you say that.
Yeah. I know it was always kind of a hurry, like quick.
Yeah. Find a place to stay. That's okay.
Yeah. And these guys all wrestle at the Alliant Energy Center.
Right. Yep. And they start Friday night and finish up late Saturday afternoon, if I remember right, don't they?
Boy, I don't remember.
Or maybe they do the 2 different sessions like they do here, age group kind of a thing.
I don't remember ever having to wrestle the night before.
Okay.
But I could be wrong.
Yeah, I sure don't remember. Still looking here at, well, we have a Bulldog wrestler out here on our mat 100, 200 area. We're waiting for the refresh here. This is boys born 2014. Is the age bracket. This is a consolation match, it says, on Track Wrestling. Our young Bulldog wrestler has a lead 2-0 over Mauston Talons.
And there were
Jackson Riley of Ithaca Weston and Maximus Chambers for Mauston. Mauston's got a number of people here.
Mauston has a big program. They had a really big middle school program.
Oh, sure.
But just looking at track wrestling, the state championships is a 2-day. It's the 24th and 25th.
Okay. So next weekend, you're right.
Yep. And the qualifiers are Bayport, Brown Deer, Fort Atkinson, Hartford, Merrill, Mineral Point, River Falls, and Westby.
Oh, wow.
The closest one now to us would be Mineral Point.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a hike to get anywhere else. And then after the state championships, the folk style, the freestyle and Greco start up, and they've split that up. They have a beginners tournament for each one.
Oh, really?
The 30th of April, and then the Greco and freestyle championships, the advanced, I should say, is May 6th and May 7th.
Oh.
And then they have a team state, 3rd through 5th grade, 6th through 8th.
Well, now I did not know that. Well, that would be kind of fun, kind of interesting, isn't it?
Yes. So, the more you know.
Yeah. How about that? Well, let's take a look here on our 300 and 400 mat. We have a Riverdale wrestler coming back out here again. This is a quarterfinal round. It's Finnegan Zarbach taking on Dean Flegge. Boy, there's another familiar name, Flegge.
Yeah.
That is a 2-0 lead right now for Flegge, who wrestles for Law. Meanwhile, our Bulldog wrestler, Jackson Riley, on the consolation side, now trails Chambers of Mauston 4-2.
Over on my mat, mat 5, we have Edison Milsna of Cashton and Caleb Rickert of the Boys and Girls Club of La Crosse.
And that's on what mat?
That's mat 5.
Oh, and that was just...
So Milsna just fell by way of pin halfway through the second period, trailing 6-0. So the win will go to Caleb Rickert of the Boys and Girls Club.
I think you had a North Crawford wrestler over there on the 600 one as well.
I will pan right over.
That was that's going to end in a pin, I believe, in Heis Polinsky picking up the win over Cochran Fountain City's Ryland Harm. Or no, they're still wrestling. I'm sorry, it's a 13-2 lead here. Oh, now there's the pin. All right. So Heis Polinsky did pick up the pin. Well, Chambers is going to win 10-0 for a major decision, running away with that one.
And one of the things I really get a kick out of with these youth guys is when they start every period, a lot of them try and start with a handshake.
Yep.
Every period.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad there's good sportsmanship. Taking a look at this 300 mat, 300, 400 mat, we have Evan Haiti of North Crawford Seneca on the 400 side. Again, that's the upper right corner. And taking on Prairie du Chine's Lexton Stovey. That's a familiar name, the Stovey name. That's a pretty good match. That's 5-2 right now.
We're gonna head down to mat 8. Try and get that. We've got Bay Kimber of Prairie du Chine wrestling Ava Haiti of North Crawford Seneca.
Okay.
Try and keep them in frame.
Finnegan Zarbach of Riverdale is trailing now 12-0 to Flegge of Law. Prairie du Chine just to the left of that. In trouble here now. In that 400 as Stovey is going to wind up getting pinned here. Evan Haiti comes from behind. He was only trailing 5-4, but Evan comes from behind. I tell you what, he's a solid built young man there. Little guy running across the mat over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at him. He's got solid legs. Used his hips well.
Flegge, that was Aquinas, right? Was it Robert?
Law. Yeah, or yeah,
well,
yeah.
His be some type of relation.
Yes, I'm sure.
I would think.
Yep. That was Aquinas wrestler, you're right. Let's take a look over on our lower left corner here. Down there on that 100 and 200 section of the mats. Zane, now here's a name, if you remember this one, Sizz. Do you remember the name Sizz?
Sizz?
That was one of the really, really good wrestlers from Mauston years ago. Way back when I was coaching at Lancaster. So, but this is Zane Sizz taking on Riverdale's Anthony Waterman. And Sizz from Law is going to pick up the win. He gets through that match with a pin. Yeah, it's familiar. It's kind of funny to see some of those familiar names from way back. You know, okay, they're recycling back through now.
We've got Luke Geyer of Cashton and Parker Beasley of Reedsburg on mat 3.
Oh, okay. Well, we got a wrestler from Wisconsin Rapids here today. Well, Geyer's got a pretty good match going on. He's out in front 4-2 as they go to period number 2 with the flip of the disc.
Ava Haiti of North Crawford will win by a fall, minute 58 pin time. That was on mat 8.
And it looks like we got a Riverdale wrestler down there on mat 8.
We have Savannah Waterman of Riverdale and Brindley Milsna of Cashton.
Oh, wow.
If I can pan over and catch them wrestling by the scoring table.
Yeah. Yeah, they're right underneath that, aren't they?
Milsna with the takedown, leading by a score of 2-0. Yeah, I used to think there was a lot of stuff going on when we would go to like regionals or sectionals. It does help when you don't really try to stay on top of everything.
Right. Well, and my objective today was let's just get as many as we can and let people, you know, take in the youth wrestling, and you see where and how high school wrestlers are doing as well as they do. It's because they start many times in situations like this. It builds their confidence, hopefully builds their character. And a lot of that comes from some really good coaches. And, you know, the other part, too, is, speaking of coaches, Carl, now you have to be a certified coach in the WWF system, or you cannot be like Matt Side
and it's been like that actually since Maddie started.
Yep.
You know, Maddie's a junior now. I don't know when it switched over, but yeah, we have to had to pass a background check, have to be copper certified.
Yep. See, and this is how long ago I only had to be bronze certified. So it was, you know, like that's a long time ago. And I think I don't know, I might have just thrown my card away maybe like a year ago or something. So I'm like, well, I think I'm done with that part. But think how long I hung on to that, you know. It's just one of those things where you just don't want to give it up.
Well, Bree Milsna won by fall, minute 46 pin time for her over Waterman of Riverdale. Let's see. So mat 6, we're going to have Kelgan Berg and Brewer Sudal of DeSoto. That is mat 6. I'll take you down to mat 6.